the whole situation in breaking the barrier was done simply because we had a purpose in mind to go out and win. And first it was Montreal, then you moved into a town like Brooklyn, and it was just fantastic way the fans responded and reacted. They were a great bunch of people, and I've always been a very appreciative for the support and guidance that we got from fans as well as from Mr. Ricky and the family.
Welcome back to Breakdown Friday. Joseph Ward, Patrick Irvin, Professor Carl Tone Johnson. We are here to introduce you to something we call JRS, or Jackie Robinson Syndrome, and to break it down for you so you can see our analysis behind it, and also the mindset behind the assimilation and the integration into white society, or the need to assimilate and integrate into white society. So years ago, I decided to watch the 42 movie. I don't know. I just decided to watch the 42 movie. I didn't see it when it came out. I actually saw the movie late, so I watched the 42 movie. And as I'm watching the 42 movie, and remind you, this is after I learned about Rube Foster, the man who was the energy behind the creation of the Negro Leagues. So, Pat introduced me to Rube Foster. I know about Rube Foster, and I'm watching 42. And I just can't understand why Jackie Robinson chose to do that. And I'm just sitting here watching the movie because I'm just perplexed, because I know the story. It's not my first time hearing the story. We've been fed this story my whole life, ever since I was in preschool, because I've gone to all black schools my whole life. So I know Jackie Robinson's story. I'm watching this movie and I just can't understand for the likes of me why this man chose to endure what he chose to endure when black people have their own baseball league. I'm just sitting there, my face all scrunched up. I'm just like, this don't make no sense. Why would he do this? And so maybe a couple of days, maybe a week or so after watching the movie and having those thoughts as I'm watching the movie, Pat PC and a couple other people, we're having a conversation, and just I'm telling them about what I'm watching, and we're all talking about it. Of course, we're talking about Rube Foster, because we believe Rube Foster should be celebrated, but that's a whole nother show. And out of that conversation, the idea came to my head or the concept of JRS, Jackie Robinson Syndrome. And basically, Jackie Robinson Syndrome is a black person who has a need to be accepted by white America so bad, a need to integrate into white America so bad that they are willing to put themselves in harm's way to be accepted or to be a part of the white person's, where it's more than just I want to be a part of white. It's I am willing to endure all of the terror and atrocities that white America can inflict upon me, to show them that I am worthy of being a part of their society. So it's a deeper psychology than just wanting to be a part of white people. It's I am willing to endure any and everything that they throw at me to show them that I am worthy. And something he used in the clip, a term they used in the clip. Not only am I showing them that I am worthy, I'm showing the white America that I am a credit to my race. And so that is what Jackie Robinson Syndrome is: the black person who wants to be a part of white America so bad that they are willing to put themselves in harm's way and endure harm to prove that they are worthy of being accepted by white America. So, PC, man, start with you. You saw the clip. You saw the clip.
Yeah.
We already know, and the difference in this breakdown, we already know what JRS, because we created JRS. So give one before we get to JRS, you watching the clip. What were your thoughts in watching this clip and Jackie Robinson explaining his experience transitioning from the Negro Leagues to the Major League Baseball?
Well, let me just say that first of all, I don't believe everybody that's black and that existed deserves to be identified as a champion or a hero just
Right.
because they partook in something, whether they were the first or the last or whatever. Um, Let me just say that in terms of Jackie Robinson, it was just really hard to watch. It's hard to watch a man in submission to other men, and that man is supposed to be the representation of, you in so many words. It's hard to watch his excitement around being, being identified as a testament, or what do they say?
Credit to your race.
A credit to your race. You know, it's this feeds into the inferiority complex that we talked about a few weeks ago, in which you know he didn't even see himself as an exception to the rule of and being inferior to white folk. He accepted that role in terms of being inferior. To somebody to tell you you're a credit to your race is one of the most disrespectful things they could ever tell you.
What also remember too, for a person or group of people to continue to be oppressed, they have to accept their lot in life and choose to go along with it.
Yeah, and not only did he choose to go along with it, but he also tried to find, and this is something that bothers me about a lot of black people, black folk who like to cross over into that other world. Um, Whether it's corporate America, whether it's in entertainment. I mean, we even caught Ice Cube a few months ago, talking about how race is no longer a factor in America. So when you have people who cross over into that area, it's disturbing because they're perfectly fine with being tokens. He tried to find humanity in a group of people who've never shown us any. So the whole time, I've been telling people for a long time that Philadelphia is one of the most racist cities in the country. I've been telling people that it has not changed much since the time he played baseball here.
Yeah, he did talk about Philly being one of the most racist places.
Right, which he had his worst experience. The Philadelphia Phillies were the last team actually to have a black person come onto their team. I refuse to use the word Negro in this context. They were the last. They were the last team to actually have a black baseball player, and he was segregated in the North from people in his locker room, and he was treated like shit. So when I see Jackie Robinson sit there and try to laud the one white person who came up to him during his game here in Philadelphia, and try to give accolades to him, it's
Yeah.
like he was the exception to the rule. You were treated harshly. They were throwing stuff at him while he was on first base. I mean,
Yeah.
they were literally, terrorizing the bus when he was here in Philadelphia. And for him to try to keep finding that shining moment, that one shining moment, speaks to the fact of how much he embraced that inferiority complex. So when I watch him talk about that, and then he tried to sort of like legitimize his struggle with the other white members of his team who would go into restaurants and go into diners when they travel, but he would have to eat his food on the bus. You know, why are you trying to sympathize with with the people who are actually being given privileged behavior in those terms? Why are you trying to find the silver lining in that hurricane? Because it wasn't just a cloud, it wasn't just a storm, in that hurricane of racism. Why? And it speaks to the fact of, you know, he was chosen for his temperament. He was chosen. One of the reasons, I'm not going to say the only reason, but one of the biggest reasons he was chosen was for his temperament. Other black players refused to go, as we spoke about earlier. Other black players refused to go. He was chosen because he was going to accept it, and it just speaks to, I don't know, man. When black people get around white folk, they get happy. Like I've seen Negroes who I remember watching Hawk Newsom, right? And I don't like throwing names out there, but he went to like the chairman of the New York chapter of Black Lives Matter. He had went to this white power rally. And when he got on stage, he was talking about, can we all just get along? He turned into Rodney King. And the thing is, you don't ask the person who's bullying you, can we get along? You push that so and so off your neck. And when I observed what's happening, when I observed what happened with Jackie Robinson, because he was also critical too of a lot of black civil rights leaders at that particular time who took a stance against racism, white supremacy. You have to really, it's because I can't relate to this dude.
But
and I go ahead.
But you got we all have to remember that we have to critically think about the actions and the deeds and everything that goes along with black people, that white people or white America, white supremacy, that they promote, that they celebrate, that they praise. Why are they praising this person? This person had to go along with something that they had going on. So they don't just, Malcolm X does not get praised by white America at all.
No. Well, one of the things is through promotion, they want to actually socialize. This is social conditioning. They want to socialize the population of black folk who at that particular time, black people were fighting back. You had the deacons for self-defense fighting back. You had the rise of the Black Power movement that followed the civil rights struggle. You had black people who were actually fighting back at that particular time, and actually it sparked a global revolution, because once people in other countries, specifically African countries and South American countries, saw black people fighting back, they started fighting back. So they had to do something. This along with the integration of black children into these racist concentration camps that they were putting these children into. They had to do something to start to create an image of this is what it looks like when black folk cooperate and are in compliance with white supremacy. The biggest drawback from that I can take from it though is you got to have niggas that sell out to do this type of shit. And that's why I'm just gonna leave it there.
So, Pat, what are your thoughts, your analysis, your breakdown of the clip before we dive deeper into JRS?
I think there were a number of things said that were very interesting to me. But one of the things that I think I'm going to be harping on repeatedly during this discussion is the need that black people have to cross over. Like, you think about everything that they said. He's a credit to his race. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. All of the turmoil, the brutality that he experienced, and not just him, even the people that integrated schools and all these other things. None of that would have been necessary if white people had just came around black folk. like, and I think
why didn't they do it?
Right. Like, and I think that when you analyze the conversation from that standpoint, it's like, okay, so we are engaged in a series of activities that if white people were who we thought they were or who we want to pretend like they are, would not be necessary. Right. Would not be. White flight wouldn't be a thing because black kids wouldn't have had to get bused to white schools. White kids would have been perfectly fine. White parents would have been perfectly fine having their kids bust into black school. I mean, let's be clear. That is much safer than the other alternative. Like, that's a lot safer than what happened. A white player joining the Negro League would have been a lot safer than Jackie Robinson doing what he did. Like, so you start having these conversations and you're saying, okay, we're repeatedly putting ourselves in harm's way. For what now? And then you go into this situation where he's like, well, I think me going through what I went through, especially in Philly, really kind of bonded us as a team. No, I didn't. Because if those white people were as open and amicable to the plight of black people, you wouldn't have needed to join their team and they wouldn't have needed to see you being brutalized before they was like, hey, maybe we should not do this. Oh, no. Let's stop. No.
that